Please अपना या वीडियो ऑफ करिए. You are continuously eating. We are assembled here to pay homage to Pradhan sir. It doesn't look nice. Thank you.
Sanjay ji, can I ask you a question? It is Vijay Singh.
Sir, please, sir.
Right side में कर रहा है YouTube is going on and it says okay. So I have to do an okay on that or what?
You can say okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. I have to do that. No? Oh, no, right. No, thank you.
This is just intimating the participants that this has been a live stream on YouTube also.
Right. Okay. Wonderful.
That's all.
Yeah.
I think we should start so that people will join. We have with us Mrs. Rekha Pradhan also. So on behalf of IAPT and Mumbai Sub-Regional Council, I request Madam to accept our heartfelt condolences on sad demise of our beloved Professor Pradhan. For the participants who are in the audience and may not be knowing Dr. Pradhan much, so I would like to brief everyone about the Professor Pradhan, about just brief introduction, what he was doing before and so on. So shall we start? I just request everyone to. So Dr.
Yes, ma'am, please continue. Please continue.
Yeah. Dr. Hemchandra Chintamani Pradhan, his complete name, was a distinguished scholar, educator, and researcher. He dedicated his 4 decades to advancing science and mathematics education in India. Known for his erudition and soft-spoken demeanor and ever-smiling presence, Professor Pradhan was a guiding light for many, inspiring countless individuals with his wisdom, vision, and dedication. Born in 1946, Dr. Pradhan began his academic journey with brilliance, securing first rank both at BSc in 1965 and MSc in 1967, these examinations from University of Bombay. He earned his doctorate in theoretical nuclear physics from the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in 1971. Following his postdoctoral fellowships at McMaster University, Canada, and University of Wisconsin, USA, he returned to India to pursue his passion for teaching and research. His career spanned significant roles at esteemed institutions. He joined Ram Narayan Ruia College after coming back from MIT, Mumbai. From 1978 up to 1980, he was teaching at Ruia College and later served at Western Regional Instrumentation Center, University of Mumbai, 1980 to 1988. During this period, he also used to teach MSc Physics students in the Mumbai University. Sir's teaching had been so effective that his students remember it to this way, with many of them now working as teaching professionals themselves. 1988, he joined the Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, HBCSC TIFR, where he played a pivotal role in its growth and evolution. As Dean of Faculty from 1999 to 2008, and later as a Center Director from 2008 to 2011, Dr. Pradhan spearheaded innovative initiatives in science and mathematics education, gaining national and international recognition for HBCSC outreach and research programs. Dr. Pradhan's efforts were instrumental in enabling India's successful participation in international Olympiads, including 29th International Physics Olympiad in Iceland in 1998, where he served as a team leader. He also initiated India's involvement in international astronomy and science Olympiads and chaired the National Steering Committee for these events from 2008 to 2011. As president of the Indian Association of Physics Teachers, IAPT, for 6 years, from 2013 to 2018, he led the organization with remarkable foresight, initiating programs like the IAPT DSM Best Teacher Award. His leadership significantly enhanced the quality of IAPT's activities and contributions to science education. His research interests spanned nuclear physics, physics education, mathematics education, and science education. He explored students' alternative concepts in physics and mathematics, developed laboratories, and focused on capacity building for undergraduate physics students. His prolific contributions include over 50 research papers and more than 30 books on science and mathematics education. He was deeply associated with the Marathi Vigyan Parishad, serving as its vice president for 8 years. He also contributed significantly to Maharashtra State Vishwakosh Nirmiti Mandal as the principal editor of Junior Encyclopedia in Science and Technology. Dr. Pradhan was closely associated with HBCS's founding director, Professor VG Kulkarni, and his successor, Professor Arvind Kumar, VG Kulkarni and Professor Arvind Kumar. Together, they led the foundation for groundbreaking advancements in science education. His collaboration with national institutions like NCERT in designing curricula, textbooks, and laboratory setups demonstrated his commitment to improving educational standards in India. From 2012 to 2017, Dr. Pradhan served as a Rajaramanna Fellow at the Department of Atomic Energy, continuing his work at HBCSE and contributing to teaching at University of Mumbai DAE Center for Excellence in Basic Sciences, CBS Mumbai. He guided PhD students, taught courses on ethics and philosophy of science, and contributed to advancement at Navarachana University and Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University. As accomplished writer, Dr. Pradhan authorized over 100 popular science articles and award-winning books, including contributions to Marathi literature like editing the Kumar Vishwakosh. His accolades include the Marathi Jeevan Gaurav Award 2018, the Goda Gauravs Award in 2022, and the Distinguished Alumnus Award, the TIFR Alumni Association 2021. A fellow of the Maharashtra Academy of Sciences, Dr. Pradhan worked tirelessly to democratize science education. He chaired the National Experts Advisory Committee under the DST, overseeing programs like the National Children's Science Congress, NCSC. Dr. Pradhan sir's enduring legacy lied in his visionary approach to education, his relentless pursuit of academic excellence, and his dedication to nurturing young minds. His contributions will continue to inspire educators and students for generations to come. There are, this will go on and on, but there are people from IAPT who have worked with him for a long time and would like to share their experiences, how they have worked with the Dr. Pradhan. First, I will request Professor P.K. Aluwalia, President IAPT, to share his thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I think it's a very sad moment for each one of us that we have assembled today to pay our tributes to Professor S.C. Pradhan. He is not with us, but I feel that the way he steered IAPT as a prominent society, subject society during his presidentship of the IAPT will be remembered by all. My heart goes to Mrs. Rekha Pradhan, who is present today with us, on behalf of IAPT and on behalf of the community of physics people around the country. And my personal behalf, I offer our heartfelt condolences to Mrs. Rekha Pradhan, Professor Pradhan's daughter, and the family members. In fact, I was very closely associated with his work in IAPT when he was president. And I saw his very gentle way of getting people understand the importance of physics education and convincing them that why IAPT has to play a very big role for that. I used to have long discussions with him, and he will always pick up the phone, and I could feel the smile on his face in the phone itself. When during his tenure, we were planning the establishment of IAPT Deen Bandhu Sahu Memorial Award for Teachers, he very meticulously planned it along with Madam Sharmishta Sahu and other colleagues in IAPT. He formed a small committee and looked at all the aspects of how we should identify a good teacher and who should deserve this award. And as a result of that, a very good document emerged, which has really served us very nicely in the last 10 years. Besides that, we were really blessed to have him guide us because of his very vast experience in science education in the country and spreading the culture of doing science education research. He was very much sought after by various bodies of the country like NCRT, University Grants Commission, and TIFR, Department of Atomic Energy. He was part of the think tank of the initiatives which were taken for science education. I heard one of his very interesting interviews in which he presented his vision of science education, which is available on the website of Homage Center for Science Education. And I think that showed a clear vision and futuristic outlook of Professor Pradhan. I was very much in touch with him when I was just, thinking that I'm not very active. And one day I got a phone call from him. And in his very gentle way, he said, I have to talk something very special with you. I said, sir, please tell me what I can do for you. And he said, look, we have been thinking about giving you a responsibility. I said, please tell me, sir, I will be very happy to do that. And he said that maybe we can recommend you for the presidentship of IAPT in the EC. I immediately told him, sir, let me talk to my wife. I'll talk to her and then I will come back to you. He said, yeah, you can take your own time. Just give me a call after 3 days. And when I called him back, he said that I am hoping that you are going to give a positive answer to the point and the request which I have made. I said, sir, it is not a question of request. I think you are offering me an opportunity to serve the community. And he said, I will be very happy if you can get associated with IAPT in that role. And after that, so it so happened that earlier it never used to be like that. There was an election which emerged. And I once again called him. I said, sir, I think I should not really fight for an election. And I would request you that please allow me to take my nomination back. He said, no, 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 nothing doing. You are not going to take your nomination back. You are recommended by EC. It hardly matters whether anybody wins or loses. But I think in the best traditions of this organization, you must really not take your nomination back. So that was the kind of advice and affection which Professor Pradhan showed, and had his personal touch for saying all those things. Later, I very much was keen that we should really talk to the very senior members of IAPT uh, under a program of fellow travelers of IAPT. Once again, I contacted him, sir, I want to have an interview with you on Zoom or Google Meet, and I hope you will oblige me. And I drafted a banner for that, and I sent that banner to him. Unfortunately, it so happened that after about 2 or 3 weeks, he fell ill and was hospitalized. And some or the other, he was a great fighter actually. He has been fighting ill health, particularly during the later period. And he was not in a position to really give me that interview. I had sent him a set of questions also, sir. If you don't mind, what we can do is we can conduct this interview in parts. Each of these questions you can just answer as is convenient to you, and then we will really edit whole of the interview and publish it. But somehow the other, I have this regret that I could not conduct his interview, and that would have been a wonderful way of knowing more about him and his ideas. I also realized that how much hardworking he was, and in the true sense, he was a man who loved his mother tongue, Marathi. And the way he has contributed in that Marathi science course, that's just remarkable. I think I definitely feel proud of this fact that I have had an opportunity to be with his thoughts many a times, and he shared with me that how he has been trying to do uh, uh, the culture of telling people that why science should be taught in vernacular language. The books and the papers which he has written in Marathi are a testimony to his hard work and how he inspired the teams to work in that particular direction. Whenever uh, anybody is going to talk about science in Marathi, I think people will remember Professor H.C. Pradhan's name. I know that he is not with us today, but such personalities, they are always with us. They are with us because of their ideas, because of their thoughts, because of their legacy which they leave for us to follow and look forward confidently. I'm sure that wherever Professor Pradhan must have been, he will always be guiding us, steering us, and take Indian Association of Physics teachers forward. Once again, with these thoughts, I express my deep, heartfelt condolences to Mrs. Rekha Pradhan and his daughter and his family members. Ma'am Rekha really took care of him like anything during his illness. Hats off to you, ma'am. You really brought him many a times out of the ICU because of your care itself. With these words, I would like to stop and thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I call now Professor Vijay Singh, who has been a close associate when he was in HBC. He was a director and sir was a national coordinator for science Olympiads. So I request Professor Vijay Singh to share his thoughts.
Thank you, Rekha. We are all, particularly at IAPT, bereaved by the passing away of Professor Pradhan. I had known Professor Pradhan, for a long time, and very interestingly, the first time I heard about him was about, I would say, some 50 years ago, so 40 years ago, when I saw an article in physics education. And this article was written from an unlikely place. I was at that time in IIT Kanpur and I had not heard of this place, called the Western Regional Instrumentation Center, a part of the Mumbai University. And the article was on Fermat's principle. And this article was excellent. I would still recommend it to an undergraduate student and to teachers. With an excellent example was set up where in the extremum principle, like Fermat's principle, it showed in the same context when you would have a maximum, when you would have a minimum, and when you would have an extremum. I would say a star example of how pedagogy should be done. Then, and it's very interesting, I came across another article by him. I got interested in a certain Professor Pradhan. I didn't know who he was and I had never met him before that. And he had written another article on scattering theory, a rather difficult topic in, I would say, quantum mechanics. But the example that he had chosen, you will not find in any textbook. It was an example of scattering theory in one dimension and the Born approximation in that dimension. So I certainly was interested. I became curious. So the next time I was in Mumbai at that time, I made it a point to visit him and to talk to him. And imagine my surprise. He was very humble. I met a very humble person and a person who had actually done his PhD from a top class university in the US, the MIT. So this is one aspect of Professor Pradhan that is not widely known, that he was very gifted in physics and he brought that gift into pedagogy at the undergraduate and the higher secondary school level in physics. Later on, Professor Pradhan joined the Homi Bhabha Center and led the effort for both mathematics and physics education. He didn't confine himself to physics and broadly to science education in that institute. I mean, he just didn't talk about science, but he was also interested in mathematics education, and he made wonderful contributions in that. There are people who have attested to this, including Professor Prithvijit Day, the mathematics mathematics coordinator for a long time. So this is another aspect of him where he had a strong background in physics, a very solid knowledge in physics, and also was very interested in teaching physics, science, and mathematics and bringing it to the common student, I would say. And this has been alluded to by Professor Ahluwalia very well when he talked about his commitment to the dissemination of science among in the Mofussil areas of India. The other program about which Rekha talked about was the Olympiad program, and I was intimately associated with it and with him regarding this program. He, of course, got into administration and took a lot of time, and that took a lot of his time from 1998 onwards. When I joined HVCSC, he was the dean, and that took up his time. But he did have a lot of some time he would devote to physics. And in 2009, while he was the director, he led the Indian team to Mexico, along with another IAPT member, Dr. Pramendra Ranjan Singh, And they took 5 members, and 4 of them, by the way, got gold medals. And that was an excellent show. And we were very proud of this fact. And I'm sure he was also proud of the fact that he led this team to distinction. Okay. So he was a wonderful administrator. He was a wonderful person as far as pedagogy concerned. But as an individual, so to speak, people have talked about his very gentle and but persuasive nature. I have very good memories. I have wonderful memories of him. Uh, One of our ex-presidents of IAPT, the late Professor Wagmare, one of our very stalwart members of IAPT, Professor Dharkar, myself, Ogla Purkar, spending a few happy hours in the evening together. And that memory of camaraderie and that happiness is what I tried to recollect last night and I thought I had to speak about him. And I think I am bereaved and much less of a person because since these persons are not around, from the passing away of Professor Pradhan and of his colleagues, Professor Wagmare, Professor Dharkar, and some others. Uh, I, I did try to meet Professor Pradhan a couple of times when he fell ill, but the last time I went, that was in December, I think maybe about 20 days before he passed away. He was not in a condition to communicate. His communication was very minimal, and we could not talk. I did have some questions for him at that time, very important ones, but I couldn't ask him. But before that, whenever I had gone, even if he was bedridden, he would respond to those questions. Of course, in a very thorough, gentle way. Uh, in a sense, I would say that a good portion, the best portion, I would say, of a good man's life are the little nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and of love. And I have to mention, although Professor Ahluwalia has alluded to it, I have to mention my respect and admiration for Professor Pradhan and his family. Okay. For the enormous courage, forbearance, and fortitude with which they faced a very difficult phase of their life, and endured the pain. So with this, I'm grateful that the IAPT has given me this forum to talk about him. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Vijay. I will take one more member online and then I will come to offline sharing, please. I have one more very senior IAPT member who has worked with him very closely again. When Sir was president of IAPT for 6 years, he worked as a general secretary, Professor Bhupati Chakravarti. And Professor Bhupati Chakravarti said that it is very difficult to speak about him in a very short time, but he will try to do that. So, sir, you are requested to share your thoughts on this platform.
Sir, please unmute.
Yourself. Sir, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you, Professor Ghurpade. First, I must express my sincere condolences to Mrs. Rekha Pradhan and her daughter and the other family members. And I know this demise of Professor Pradhan is a very big loss for the family. Interestingly, it's true that I had that opportunity. I'm indeed very lucky. I had that opportunity of working with him as the General Secretary when he was the President. But there are lots of wonderful experiences, wonderful memories of that time, which I really cannot describe in such a short span of time. But let me focus on a few points. Very interestingly, I first came to know about Professor Pradhan in 1998 in Bilaspur Convention of IAPT. He actually led the first team of Indian International Physics Olympiad, first Indian team to International Physics Olympiad. And he was in IAPT convention to really share his experience about this Olympiad. Now we are having a lot of people around us who know a lot of things about the international events. In fact, we ourselves have organized this international event in 2015. But at that point of time, in 1998, I mean, none of us really knew about it virtually. Professor Pradhan delivered a talk sharing his experience and describing what was going on in the event. It was about 35, 40 minutes talk. And you won't believe it. Once the talk was over, it was a new subject, so to speak, new area he was talking about. But none of us had a single question for asking for any about any some sort of a clarification or any detailing. The way he spoke, he was so meticulous yet so brief. He was so particular in covering all the aspects. I still remember that talk. I mean, that's a great example of the acumen of a person. It's wonderful. I still remember that after so many years. And then, of course, later on, when I happened to be the part of this program, Olympiad program, I could meet him. I had brief interactions with him. And of course, in the later stage, when he became the president and I had the opportunity of working, I shouldn't say under him, but with him, it was a very, very memorable experience. He was always so nice, so decent. And whenever I used to approach him with any issue that, sir, we need to do this thing, or possibly I used to draw his attention, sir, should we do this thing? The advice he used to give was excellent. And he, at the same time, he was very nice in really suggesting that why don't you talk to Professor Dharkar or Professor Oglapurkar or some others, Professor Venkatesh, some of the senior members of IAPT who have got more experience in the IAPT activities. He was always open to those suggestions. That was so wonderful. And very interestingly, I normally used to write him at emails, and because since we were working between that period, 2013 and 2018, there was not much of this what is called this WhatsApp and other communication modes. Mainly, we were communicating either through telephonic conversation or through emails, and he had always very clear cut ideas. You approach him with any situation or any so-called problem or any issue related to IAPT, and he really always come up with very nice and very plausible suggestions. And I'm really not in a position to really. I know that he was a great academician. This much I know. I have seen some of his work, but I'm really not at all in a position to really gauge his vastness of his knowledge. But what I was very much impressed, I must admit, that his commitment towards writing in Marathi, different science articles, science encyclopedia he was involved in. He used to talk with me about this. Possibly there is a reason I myself is involved in writing in my own mother tongue, Bangla, and I've written a large number of articles in that language in different Bangla magazines. And he was really very much interested to listen what sort of things we are writing and what sort of things we are really talking about. Now, so I can really go on talking. I mean, I can go on talking about him and his ideas, the way we shared. And the biggest thing is that I'm very fortunate. I'm telling you that once our terms were over, I really asked for some sort of permission that, sir, I would like to keep in touch with you. He said, okay, you're most welcome to call me, and I can also call you. That's exactly happened. And we really used to talk over phone on large number of issues, not only physics, different social issues, political issues, and academic issues, of course, different policy issues over phone. Normally, every 1.5 month, we used to have good conversation. And before I end, I must tell you one small incident. I shouldn't say incident, a small story I can say that just goes to show the personality of this great academician. Once he was at that time, he was possibly the center director or maybe the dean. I don't remember the exact time. He was just talking to us. We went there for some Olympiad program, some of us. He was talking to us. And when he came to know that I am from West Bengal and Kolkata, he suddenly asked the name of one minister of that time, that how is he? How is doing? He was the finance minister of West Bengal. I said, okay. Well, he is a well-known person in economics also. He was a professor of economics. Then Professor Pradhan said that, well, I regret that I didn't keep in touch with him, but we were together in MIT and we shared the same room. And that way, I mean, possibly I'm really missing it out. I really politely said, sir, no, you are not at all missing it. I mean, you are in a different world. He has gone to a different world, but he always felt that, well, I should keep in touch. But I knew that since I had a little bit idea about the minister, so I could understand that it's quite natural that he could not keep in touch with that gentleman. In any case, I have some wonderful memories, and my family members are also having some wonderful memories with him because we could interact a little bit with him. So, with these words, I pay my heartfelt regards to his memory and offer my condolences to the members of his family.
Thank you, sir. I will take some offline sharing by, let me, yeah. Sir, Bhupati sir, have you finished? Yeah. Thank you so much. You want to continue or you complete? Yeah.
I can't hear
No,
you.
no, no, I have completed. Sorry, I
Thank
should have
you.
mentioned that.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I've completed.
Keep fine.
Thank you.
So many of you may not be knowing, but Mumbai Sub-Regional Council was founded under his guidance, and he was the first president of Mumbai Sub-Regional Council, and that's how I think sub-regional councils were born. Because we had the regional councils, but to reach out to the unreached and every corner, he has actually, helped in that. And the first regional sub-regional council, Mumbai, was came into existence, and he was the founder president of that. Today, we have with us current president, Dr. KG Bhole, president of Mumbai Sub-Regional Council. Who will share his association, because I remember Professor Bhole also has worked in Ruia College as his colleague. So he has also a lot of things to share. Sir, Bhole sir.
My association with Dr. Pradhan, actually, since 1977, 78, when he was teaching classical mechanics to us for MSc course. For second year also, he was teaching nuclear physics. And then when I joined for MPhil course, he was my guide, partial, because my project was assigned to WRIC. But I must mention here his good quality as a teacher, as a mentor, that whenever he used to meet the students, students won't forget whatever he's saying and whatever he's advising. That was one of the tactic. Second thing is, whenever he used to advise, we used to follow. It was in WRIC, he conducted so many short-term courses for teachers. And I think that was a very good time for WRIC, where there was a lot of interaction between the teachers of Mumbai University and affiliated colleges also. He was so meticulous that the short-term courses were full-fledged, and we were very much happy with the content of the courses also. When he was a member of Mumbai University, a prestigious Mumbai University was not having any research wing for science education. And he fought for this and started science education as one of the stream and in a research and recognition board. That is also a mentionable act by him. He was also very much good for advising the school students particularly. When my daughter completed her SSC, and it was the first batch of Olympiad training, which was to be started at Homage Center, and he said, okay, your daughter was in merit list. If she is good, ask her to bring 2-3 good students for Olympiad training, and we'll be training them, and let us see them. And that is how 2-3 students were sent to Homage Baba. It was so good and fatherly figure for us, even if in Mumbai University, whenever we used to work for board of studies and so on, we used to take his advice, because his books and his articles on physics educations were very, very rewarding and acceptable. This is something today, he is not there with us in the physical world, but his ideas and his advices will remain forever for us. We'll miss you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I call Dr. Kiran Polvankar as a student officer on.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are here to recall fond memories of Professor Pradhan. So my first encounter with him was also almost 40 years ago when I was in college, and our science association had invited him for a lecture, and it was my responsibility to receive him and take care of him. So it was really that first interaction itself was so nice. And that time I used to go to study circle conducted by Professor Arvind Kumar, but that time he was not there. But when I was about to leave that study circle, he joined HBCC, and he had also started taking part in that study circle in Grant Road. So that was second kind of interaction, first as a guest speaker, then as a teacher. Then we kept meeting at various places. So when I joined here in Dunjunwala College, and so of course HBCSC was one place where we used to interact, but we also used to call him here. He gave lectures, participated in some conferences, and that time, as all of you have underlined, his clarity in his presentation was really evident that time. I also met him at really unexpected place. There's an NGO called Gram Mangal, which works for education of Adivasi communities around Maharashtra, all around Maharashtra. So I used to take part in their activities, and once I met him there, that was when he was a director of HBCSC. That time, he also used to take time out to participate in such NGO activities. We met in, I think, in Y near Mahabaleshwar. They adopted one school there, and he was advising there, and I had also gone there to help. Then also we used to meet in CVS when he used to teach there, and I also taught some courses there. So all these interactions has really left very warm feeling about him. So even on behalf of RJ College, we pay homage to him here. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiran sir. I come back to online audience once again. We have Sanjay Kumar Sharma, Secretary of Kanpur office. Sir, would you like to share your association and thoughts with us?
Thank you, ma'am. प्रधान सर के साथ 6 साल जब वो प्रेसिडेंट थे तो काम करने का मौका मिला. Like Ahluwalia sir said, Vijay Singh sir said, मैंने भी नोटिस करा, थॉरो जेंटल, ऑलवेज स्माइलिंग, उनको कभी भी गुस्से में बोलते नहीं देखा. इसी मीटिंग में समटाइम्स देयर आर सम हॉट एक्सचेंजेस, कुछ ऐसी बात होती हैं, बट ही रिमेन्ड ऑलवेज काम एंड क्वाइट. और जो उनका स्माइलिंग फेस कभी नहीं भूलता. मैम, घुरपड़े मैम, क्या मैं कुछ पिक्स शेयर कर सकता हूँ?
जरूर.
हमारी एक फाइनेंस कमेटी की मीटिंग कानपुर में और हैदराबाद कन्वेंशन की कुछ, वो जहां पहली बार दीनबंधु साहू वाला जो स्टार्ट हुआ था. तो इफ यू अलाउ मी. मैं एक पर्सनल यहाँ शेयर करना चाहूंगा. आलूवालिया सर, आप दिख रहे हैं मुझे यहाँ पर. मैंने 2019 में वीआरएस लिया और कानपुर से चंडीगढ़ शिफ्ट हुआ. प्रधान सर के पास न्यूज पहुंची तो ही कॉल्ड मी. उन्होंने फोन करा कि क्यों करा, व्हाई डिड यू डू दैट, कोई आपको प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं? अभी 7 ईयर मेरी जॉब थी कि ऐसे में इतनी अच्छी नौकरी छोड़ के और आप क्यों जा रहे हो. सो ही वॉज वरीड. जो अभी जो हमारे एक साथी कह के गए कि फादरली फिगर, राइट. सो मैंने हंसते हुए उनको कहा, सर हैप्पी मूड में करा है, मैं लाइफ को थोड़ा सा दूसरे ढंग से करना चाहता हूँ. तो देन ही वाज सेटिस्फाइड. नहीं, ठीक है, आपको पेंशन, लाइक ये पेंशन वाला टर्म धारकर सर ने भी पूछा था प्रधान सर ने कि आपको पेंशन मिलेगी ना? कहा यस सर. ओके, देन इट्स ओके. सो लाइक जो वी आर ऑलवेज सेइंग आईएपीटी इज अ फैमिली. तो सचमुच में फैमिली है. हमें जो जितने भी सीनियर हैं वो गाइडेंस देते हैं, और नॉट ओनली गाइडेंस, दे सिंपली टेक केयर ऑफ अस, हमारे बारे में सोचते हैं. सो मैं कुछ मैम अभी स्क्रीन शेयर का अगर मुझे मिले तो मैं कुछ एक पिक्स उनकी.
We'll make you co-host. हाँ. हो गया सर.
ओके ओके मैम, थैंक यू. होस्ट डिसेबल्ड पार्टिसिपेंट स्क्रीन शेयरिंग. मैम अभी हो नहीं रहा, आप प्लीज किसी और ने बोलना हो. मैं ओके. This is date is given. सर आप दिख रही है ये सर की पिक?
इट इज विजिबल, आप पिक्चर क्लिक कीजिएगा.
ये 31 अक्टूबर 2015 हैदराबाद कन्वेंशन इनॉग्रल सेशन.
आप क्लिक करके वो पिक्चर, बिकॉज इट्स जस्ट
Wagmare sir.
Double click on the picture.
So out of focus जाता है ये.
आप डबल क्लिक करिए.
संजय जी, पिक्चर आपकी कहीं खुल रही होगी ना व्यूअर में, साइड में देखिए, कोई नीचे तो नहीं बना है, उसको देखिए.
एक्चुअली मेरे स्क्रीन पे सर दिख रही है, बट कैसे मैं ये.
बड़ी दिख रही है आपकी स्क्रीन पे?
हाँ जी, मुझे बड़ी
तो
दिख रही है.
तो वो वाली स्क्रीन शेयर करनी
शेयर
पड़ेगी.
एंटायर स्क्रीन.
ओके.
आपने विंडो शेयर करी होगी. शेयर एंटायर स्क्रीन. Stop sharing and again share it.
एंटायर स्क्रीन का इसमें नहीं आ रहा. सॉरी मैम.
जब आप ज्वाइन करते हो तभी आता है, जब आप शेयर करने की कोशिश करते हो तो पूरी स्क्रीन में एंटायर स्क्रीन करो.
ओके सर, जस्ट मिनट मुझे दीजिएगा. जस्ट सेकेंड, मैं सर उसको फिर से कर रहा हूँ. शेयर.
राइट साइड पे टॉप पे होता है एंटायर स्क्रीन, जो विंडो खुलती है.
नहीं सर, आई एम सॉरी, मैं कर नहीं पा रहा इसको, बट
ठीक है सर. शेयर डेस्कटॉप एक लास्ट ऑप्शन ट्राई करके देखिए.
नो.
हाँ हाँ.
मैम प्लीज गो अहेड.
हाँ मैम प्लीज.
So I request anybody else in the online meeting if they want to share about Pradhan sir.
Can you listen me, madam?
Yes,
Yes sir. Yes
sir, we
sir.
were waiting. Yes. Because
Somehow
sir,
I am able to join.
thank you, sir. Thank you, because he was struggling to join actually for a long time. Oglapurkar sir, please.
Okay. I met Professor Pradhan for the first time in 1998 when I was setting the entire question paper for NACP, of course, together with Professor Dharkar. About one question, there was some controversy, and so we met Professor Pradhan at HBCAC, and we discussed that question, and Pradhan agreed with my approach to the problem. And then Dharkar at once said, whatever Pradhan has said, that is the last word in physics. So that was the scholastic personality of Professor Pradhan. Tremendous spirit of teaching and even learning also physics. I have seen his various aspects of his personality. Professor Pradhan, as a teacher, as a director of HBCAC, as the chairman of National Steering Committee, then working for Marathi Vignan Parishad, and so on. So since 1998, I know him, and we had excellent friendship. and tremendous association with Pradhan, which we can never forget. Unforgettable memories. One of his memories I remember is, or I learned from my friends. After returning from Purdue, he joined Ruia College. At that time, Professor Govind Parvate was head of his department in Ruia College. As soon as Professor Pradhan joined there, Professor Parvate requested Pradhan that you be the HOD now. I don't mind to work under you, even if I am senior. And not only that, Professor Parvate requested the management to make Professor Pradhan as the head of the department, and management accepted that. Professor Parvate was promoted to the post of vice principal, and Professor Pradhan was given the chair of HOD physics in Ruia College. A real scholar of physics. So many things can be said about him. Particularly for last 2.5 years, he was suffering from cancer, but it's really miraculous how he faced these illness, or his, in spite of his illness, he was working. He was working for HBCSE, he was working for CBS, he was coming to Pune for a guest lecture in ISER and so on. Really miraculous. For some days in week, he was taking chemotherapy. And for other days, he was going to CBS, he was going to HBCSE and coming to Pune and so on. Really miraculous. By the sad device of Professor Pradhan, I have lost a good friend. Hats off to his memories. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Anybody else in the
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah.
Myself, Dr. Takle.
Takle. Yes.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself and yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I'm Dr. M.V. Takle in the Department of Physics, Shiva University, Kolhapur. I'm a research professor right now after superannuation. And there are a couple of incidences associated with Dr. Pradhan, sir, basically. I was pursuing my PhD in theoretical nonlinear optics, and I had stuck up with some theoretical problems, especially in solving a system of coupled nonlinear differential equations in the laser plasma interaction. And I was moving around and trying for a certain kind of a help. And finally, I almost came to a decision that I may lose PhD. Probably I won't get it. But my colleague Sudhir Kulkarni bring me back to HBCSE one day under education tool. And there first time I come across Professor Pradhan sir. Secondly, with Arvind sir. Successively with D.A. Desai sir, Uglapurkar sir. And all those people really gave me a boost of pursue physics in pursue PhD in physics. But next, I could do that job and solve those problems. And the thing that after that, during the felicitation of my PhD in my college, something happened and there was not a shawl to felicitate me. And that was skipped a bit. But what happened, for one science program, Pradhan sir was invited in Gadinglas. So way to Gadinglas, he digressed that journey and came to my college to give a talk in Dudhsakar Mahavidyalaya, Bidri. So that was the right moment, and my college decided to felicitate me with his auspicious hands, and that was pleasing experience for me. And he was staring at me because only his words could bring me back to pursue my PhD there. His so smooth words and compassionate patting hands on my back, that really gave me a big boost to complete my PhD. And this journey later on pulled me back in IAPT members to have a paper setter for NSCP, then for as an assessor. And finally, I get promoted in the Department of Theoretical Physics, Shiva University, Kolhapur. And that was really success. And that success naturally gets back to the root of that success get back to Pradhan sir. So I really request the family of Pradhan sir to accept our condolence on behalf of RC08B, and I take a small gap here for my few words of a condolence. So thank you, Ms. Rekha. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Takle. Ranjita madam is here. Madam, would you like to speak? Ranjita madam. Professor Ranjita Tika from
Yes.
Guwahati. She's Vice President
Good evening.
Eastern Zone.
Good evening, everyone. I am from Guwahati, East Zone Vice President. I would just like to say I had met Professor Pradhan in Hyderabad during our convention in Hyderabad. Maybe it was in 2015, and I had the privilege of moving with sir and madam in Hyderabad. So during that short span, I found that sir was such a loving person. He was very good to us. He took me around. He and ma'am took me around to here, there, everywhere. Even Charminar we saw together. I think I have posted one just small photograph in the group. But the thing is that I still remember the gentle manner. He was such a gentleman, and he was so soft spoken and kind hearted. I could that particular day I could imagine that being so knowledgeable, yet he was so humble. He is such a down to earth person, and I pray to God so that his soul rests in peace. And I thank and I hope my prayers are always with Mrs. Pradhan too, Rekha Pradhan. And with these few words, I would like to say thank you.
Thank you, madam. Anybody else? Shamla madam. Okay, Ahluwalia sir is sharing some of the pictures. Then we will come back to some messages which I have received on my WhatsApp. Some teachers and colleagues of his could not join here due to some other problem. This is Professor Shastri receiving DSM award. I think first award. First award, Professor Wagmare with Dr. Pradhan.
You've seen this.
Hyderabad convention, I suppose.
Yes, ma'am, Hyderabad. This is
Kanpur office.
finance committee meeting in Kanpur office. Yes. Venkatesh sir is also there. Dharkar sir.
Sir is there.
I can see.
Verma sir and Pradhan sir. ये उनका जब शताब्दी में उनका ट्रेन था दिल्ली जाने के लिए, देन आई टुक दिस पिक, उनको ड्रॉप करा जब स्टेशन पे, रियली बिल्कुल दोनों को, धारकर सर, प्रधान सर, कभी नहीं हम भूल सकते दोनों को। तब ये थैंक यू आलीवालिया सर, मेरे से नहीं हो पा रहा था।
Thank you, sir.
Madam, can I speak for a few words, madam?
Yeah, Professor Rajeshwar Rao, newly elected Vice President of North Zone. Yes.
South Zone.
Sorry. South Zone. For me, all zones are equal. Okay. South Zone.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of my native RC, I pay respects to the great Pradhan ji. When we have conducted national convention at Hyderabad, he was the president, and during his tenure, our our Telangana RC22 was formed in that meeting. So we can remember him for definitely for a long time, and his very soft-spoken personality. Whenever we take any issue or any problem or anything for discussion, he used to respond in a sweet manner and also sweet and sound in other way also, we can say, very effectively. And losing him really a great loss to our association. So my respects, and I pray God to give his family required peace. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Rekha.
Yes, Shamala.
May I speak something?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello. Pradhan sir, for me, I just can't say how much he has given me. He was not just a teacher for me, but he is the person who always guided me through my life. I met him only when I was in MSc, but after that he was always there in every field where I tried to work, tried to look for some new things to do. And everyone has spoken a lot many things about him, so I don't want to repeat all that. But one thing which I find something different from what everyone has said, that I will put over here. I'm from one Marathi medium school in Gorega, and now I'm working on the management of that school. And I found that it was quite surprising for me that Pradhan sir, who was always busy on so many other fields and was also interested in knowing how school education, especially in vernacular medium schools, is happening. Even in our school, whenever he was invited, he came to guide our management, our teachers, especially now when it is new education policy is coming up. He came once to when he was not well. I was surprised to see him even in that condition coming here with the help of his driver. He came, he sat in our meeting for 2 hours. He talked to us and guided us through that discussion about the new education policy and the problems the management or the teachers are facing and how we can approach those things and solve our problems. And I'm very much grateful for all that. And here I'm to pay homage to him on behalf of my school, AB Goregaonkar, and myself personally. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamla. I have some message to read from Professor K. Joshipuraji, who was General Secretary and also worked with him for a long time. He was to join the meeting, but I don't know. He said due to some emergencies, unable to join, and he has sent me the message. From Joshipura sir, as we gather here in condolence meeting today, we in IAPT pay our respectful homage to our guiding spirit, our dear Professor H.C. Pradhan. He was so nice, gentle, soft-spoken, and easily approachable always. He was a great pleasure whenever I met him. It was a great pleasure whenever I met him. In Professor Pradhan's tenure as IAPT president, we started the IAPT DSM award for UG physics teachers about 10 years back, and I have been associated with this work right from the day one. I happily recall his inspiring presence in our RC07. RC07 is Regional Council, Gujarat. In our RC07 program at Science City, Ahmedabad in 2017. Also cherishes memory in a group photo taken at Ranchi Convention 2018. We also will remember him as an outstanding academician and a lifelong worker in physics education. His life and work will continue to inspire us all for times to come. Om Shanti. He has shared a photo, but I could not download, and that is why I cannot share also. But I think everybody has a lot of memories to share with him. If everyone has finished, I also would like to mention one message from Dr. C.K. Desai. C.K. Desai was a director, was working in Bajaj Science Center, Nagpur, and Pune Exploratory. He also wanted to come actually offline from Pune, but he got the message very late, and therefore he could not travel. And he said that he wants to place on record the association with Dr. Pradhan, the help that he has rendered to Bajaj Science Center, Wardha, as well as the Pune Exploratory. And he was overwhelmed by his presence at these centers whenever they wanted. And whenever they wanted help from Dr. Pradhan, he was always there to help these two institutions. So he said he's very grateful, and he has sent the respectful homage to beloved Pradhan sir. Thank you. There are many who could not come, but messages, they just said that our condolences, which I will later on mention. Here, I would like to mention one more. I mean, people also talked about his energy and always, on his toes and every time. So whenever, even during his illnesses, he has never shown that he was ill. Anytime when you ask him, sir, are you all right? Is it, he would say, I'm all right. I'm okay. What happened to me? I can do anything. Last year only, I remember in Mumbai Sub-Regional Council, we have started Dharkar Memorial Lecture, and we wanted to have him for a lecture, and he readily agreed. He not only agreed, it is not even a year back. It was less than that. He was on the bed. Actually, he was recovering from the earlier illness, and he was on the bed, but he prepared a lecture. He sent that presentations to me as well as I think Shamla madam also. And he said that you just please see this. And if I cannot share, you please help me in doing that while my lecture. And more than an hour he presented, he interacted with the audience, and he answered the questions so that actually speaks about the energy. There was one more incident which I remember was in Homi Baba Center when he had his angioplasty in Jaslok Hospital. And I think that time Rekha madam was not here, the Rekha Pradhan madam. She was in USA with her daughter. And he accidentally was detected. All his illnesses were accidentally detected. Like he used to go for just checkup and something used to come up. And he very, with his always smiling face, he would say, okay, ye ho gaya hai. And he, I was in HBCSC and I was asking when sir would be discharged. I would like to go and meet him. And we were having lunch, and just in the canteen, HBCSC canteen, I saw Pradhan sir walking in. Straight from the Jaslok Hospital, he is coming to HBCSC and having a lunch with us. So that kind of, this thing. And I personally, people said that he was a father figure to many of you. But for me, he was a father only, more than a father also. And I don't know when I became, very close to him and his family. I must be the only person here, I think, in the meeting to whom he has taught right from 12th standard to MSc Part 2. I joined Ruya College in 77 and he was my teacher. I think it was his first year of teaching there in Ruya College. when he entered, we did not know who actually, a very small, young, chubby person entering in the classroom. And we did not know exactly what was his laurels and all. And but we were impressed by his teaching, because the way he delivered, the way he smiled, everything was smiling, and getting things from the students itself, asking questions and then taking the slowly to the subject and so on. So that the very approach impressed us. And the people like us who studied did our schooling in vernacular medium and going directly to the colleges, finding it was very difficult, and we were struggling to also get into the English teaching, English learning and English speaking also. And we found his lecture so friendly, and his English also was student friendly. And later on, when we were prescribed some textbooks, and at the back of the textbook, the author's information is written. And there I read the person has done his DSc from MIT and joined Ruia College and all that. Then we realized, oh, the person who is very short and very simple looking is not that simple, but it's really has something to carry. Then every year he taught me not only physics but everything, that how to walk on every path actually. He was running a career guidance cell in Ruia College, where I was a student coordinator for that cell. And the way he has taught me to arrange, organize things, I think they are still, helping me in doing this kind of activities, and at the IAPT level also, at national level. Actually, if I say that I became a professor or lecturer in college just because of Pradhan sir. If he would not have been there, I would not have been I would have been a teacher in a school or something, but not here. Because while doing MSc, I had some personal problems and I stopped attending lectures. He realized that I am not coming in the class in MSc. See how personally he was connected to students. Otherwise, no teacher will take the note, okay, if the student is not coming for 1 week or so, student might not be well or something, but he saw that I'm not coming there in the lectures, and he sent somebody to my home and said that ask her to meet me immediately tomorrow. I just had to go. He was in WRIC, sitting in his cabin, and discussed with him. And the way he counseled, I had nothing to say, but he said, start coming for lectures from tomorrow. And then there was never looking back. Under his guidance, under his counseling, I think I'm here before you, and I completed my tenure as a professor in this college, of course, for 36 years and retired. Then comes the IAPT. Again, he was my mentor. So at every place, not only before IAPT, again at HBCSE, he asked me to come to HBCSE. He has given me the opportunity to learn with his research students and work with his research students, whatever they have designed, the experiments, etc. And then the Olympiad program. I think Silsila Chalu Raha, and till his last breath, I think I was there. I'm a family member. I told Mrs. Pradhan also that I'm there. I'm there with her also. So it's my duty. Whatever I do for that family, I don't think I'll be able to complete my Guru Dakshina. But whatever he has told me, I'm trying to follow those lessons. And he has asked me to work for IAPT. And he was the first who gave me a call saying that your name has been recommended. And I said, sir, if there is somebody, you please go ahead. But otherwise, he said, no, you are going to work for IAPT. You are not going to say no. And that again, I thought that it is a time for me to, pay his Guru Dakshina. And I started working for IAPT. I hope I'm doing a little bit, I'm trying to follow his legacy and trying to walk on the footstep, the path he has created for us. And there may be many students like me who are missing him. Missing his phone calls, missing his guidance, and missing everything. Thank you. I request everybody, the offline as well as the those who are there online, to observe 2 minutes silence to pay our last respect to Professor Pradhan. Thank you. Om Shanti. We end the meeting.
We thank Mrs. Rekha Pradhan for joining us, and thank you very much, ma'am. We are all with you. Thank you.
My namaskar to Mrs. Rekha Pradhan and her family members.